welcome back to First Strike EU, where we are in our grand final best of 5. Heretics are 2-1 up after that incredible performance on Haven, and you can see just how much that means to them because they are one map away from being crowned the new kings of Europe. You guys predicted it. You know, Lothar, you backed your boys from day one. You backed them against Liquid. You kind of backed them against G2, and now you're backing them again. Tell me what impressed you the most in that Haven game.
I would like to just say that I think the performance from both of those teams in the first two maps wasn't to their full potential because those were the banned maps. And it seems like they weren't just as prepared and as confident as Haven. And in Haven, Heretics absolutely reeked of confidence. Like it used everywhere over the map, and it was visibly seen in round 12 when it was an absolutely insane retake with Lowell lurking the entire map, going into C-long and just backstabbing everyone. Then a double peek from smokes. Everything just kind of fell right. And in my opinion, if this is the Heretics we're gonna see on Bind, SUMN FC we're gonna have a big problem. But at the same time, SUMN FC Bind so far looked really solid.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll talk about Bind, obviously, and I've got a lot of opinions, shall we say, about Heretics Bind. I don't think they'll quite match up there, but in this map right now, I completely agree. I think the expectations were set coming into the map. We said that the comfort level previously wasn't there. Now we were moving onto a map where both teams play and where Heretics just historically had looked that little bit better. Right here, they came out swinging. I mean, that first half, it set the tempo. There's next to no way back in. And although we've seen, you know, these half-to-half swaps in terms of pace, certainly, Jonas, for some reason, the games we were casting, it seemed like teams couldn't remember how to defend. But it just wasn't going to happen in this case. When a team has that much confidence, it's really hard to knock them down a peg, and I think especially in the form of Heretics, when you see them continue to deliver, like Niso getting that double opening with a Hunter's Fury, and you would think that's bad enough, but then Pora flanks out and gets 2 kills with 1-tap Sheriff shots. Like,
actually, that was such a cool piece because Pora was waiting in the mid like in the entire round.
Yep.
He heard 2 people on B, that was Raze and Breach, if I remember correctly. And the moment he had 2 set of steps going away on C, he slowly crept up on mid to B and backstabbed. Like, that was patience, and that's why I picked Pora in the beginning of this tournament as a player to watch. The patience that he has, he might not be flashy, he might not be having like insane KD, but he has impact kills that give them clutches.
And I think that's something that you don't see enough of, really. Like, a couple of players that stand out. You've got Pora, you've obviously got Chak, who's in this as well, is a solid Cypher, but I think for very different reasons. He's a very individually talented, but in terms of that kind of patience play, the only one that comes to mind that compares is Meadow over on FPX, who obviously isn't here because someone took him down, which is bizarre. Again, grand finals, but between Pora and Meadow, they embody what I would consider to be perfect Sentinel, perfect Cypher play at least. They're so patient, they play other sides of the map, they lock down map control, making it very difficult for their opponents to actually get pushes up. And this is on the attacking side, obviously. And I think that without that level of patience, like I remember making the statement in one of the FBX games that I had seen Meadow spend an entire round, like a minute 30, shift walking to go on a flank. Even when his opposition was pushing in, he had faith in his teammates and he just played it slow. You don't see that all too often. I know I certainly couldn't handle every round like that.
And I do want to mention and highlight Lau as a player. You know, he's won HyperX Series Player of the Series every single time in this tournament. He is a veteran in FPX. He has so much experience, and I think he's really bringing that experience. I think a lot of that confidence comes from Lau. The things that he's doing with that Sage Wall that's the kind of thing that would tilt me into not playing Valorant, full stop. And I know there's some great Sages in Europe. You know, we talk about David P. We've spoken about Shao. And I think this is a time where I genuinely feel like we can propose Lau as someone who is a standout Sage player and perhaps maybe the best Sage player we have right now.
He's definitely the one guy that only plays Sage. Because every player that you mentioned has a second agent in his disposal. Lowell, so far, only picking Sage.
I always wonder, you know, for David P, I remember the tweets he was putting out when he got taken off that agent due to the nerfs. I wonder if he's looking at Lowell going, I wonder if we can do that. I wonder if I can get back on there. But yeah, Lyle, I mentioned before, he was definitely the Sage, but at one stage, the exception of Scream, and I think still the player with the most percentage of opening duels. For his team, he has the most opening duels. And then in the tournament, second most, and probably at this stage, I'll have to double check, but probably the most. He was trailing Scream by 1 coming into this this series, not even the map. He's a very aggressive Sage, and to see a Sage get involved in early round fights like that, it almost contradicts. There's very few that do it. Obviously, we've got the battle Sage of David P, but not as consistently anymore because he doesn't play her all the time. So Lel doing it on every map as well, it's astounding to see.
Absolutely, and like we've seen this work before Sage was nerfed. Obviously, it was more common to see this kind of battle Sage playstyle, but now it seems like only the guys who maybe find this Sage expertise playstyle to still pick her, because you know, the wall got nerfed, so it gets destroyed a lot easier. But if you use the wall mainly to do very weird boosts, well, then the wall isn't nerfed at all. So you can always like play around a character's changes, so it doesn't really feel that nerfed. I know I saw David P talking about how he wishes that Sage was changed back a little bit. I think he probably is down on his knees begging Riot to change it back a bit because he loves the agent so much. But it's cool to see how as soon as there are agent changes, we talked a lot about the Killjoy and the Cypher changes as well, how this changes the meta and it forces a new playstyle by the teams as well, because you can simply not play the agent like it used to be played.
I honestly do believe that Sage is in a very good spot, and she was overtuned by a lot in the past, so those nerfs were welcomed. And I think like right now, she is in a good spot when someone knows how to play her. Cypher and Killjoy changes, those were really interesting to me because they opened, I feel like they opened the possibilities of flanks on in the game, and opened the possibilities of having different post-plan situations in the game. If those changes wouldn't have happened, Valorant right now would have been probably look way more static in gameplay, and that I'm so happy we don't have that anymore.
But it is, the gameplay now is so much faster than what we used to see. We saw a lot of times they would just play these standard spots where you just look for peaks, and you have these anti-flank turrets and the anti-flank Cypher trips. Now, of course, with trips getting disabled as soon as Cypher dies, he can't really go lurking that much because then he destroys all his utility. And same with Killjoy, she needs to take her turret with her. So when she goes and actually pushes a bomb site, the turret is useless in the original anti-flank position. So it just changes up the entire kind of Sentinel playstyle for those two agents.
The other side of it as well, though, is when it comes to Killjoy, her ability to go for retakes now, her value in retakes at least, because she can move her utility is so much more. You can use turrets to clear angles now. If you get into the right position, you can use alarm bots to lock down parts of the map that maybe you haven't cleared yet, but ensure they don't push out of. So it was definitely a real game changer, a real meta changer in terms of how these agents who are 100% picked. You do not see teams playing without at least one of them on their roster. So it's very important to kind of fine tune them. It's been interesting to see how Riot have approached that. And again, I feel like they're in a pretty good spot now. They've definitely, the changes have made the game more dynamic and more interesting.
Riot just added punishment for your own behavior in game,
True,
which is
true.
very good for balance of the game in general.
I mean, if we go back to the Sage, the way that Lau plays her is just so wonderful and so clever. And even if we look back to Ascent as well, where the positions he put up his wall, and the amount of rounds they won on Haven just because Lau was at the right place at the right time, doing what he should be doing. And I also think that, you know, out of game, we've spoken to him quite a lot over the last couple of days. And he is that person that drives his team forward. He was preaching the sentiment of, we're never giving up, we're staying positive, we're going to be in this until we win it. And I think that is something that maybe is lacking on SUMN FC's side. Because if you take the rosters and you put them side by side, SUMN FC don't have a Scream, they don't have a Lau, they don't have a Happy. These players are very inexperienced. Some of these players, I believe Mo, Doma and Mystic, have never even been to a LAN. You know, this is a brand new thing for them. This is very fresh. The nerves are probably getting to them a little bit. Hopefully on Bind, we can have a proper SUMN FC Bind, because like you guys said, if they push push everything aside and do what they did to FPX, we are going to go to map 5.
So this is the thing, right? Bind, it's solid. The defensive side, especially for Summon, they will feel more comfortable here, 100%.
Yep.
And the other side of that is when you look at the Bind games that Heretics have had, 15-13 win over Liquid. That was to close it out, third map, high pressure environment. Versus G2, it was the map they lost, and they lost at 13-5, 4 rounds on attack. So just based on that information alone that I've thrown out there, we know that Summon are very good on defense, and when we last saw Heretics, they were very poor on attack. That doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room then to really find any space within this game.
But
Yeah.
Nuki told us we're going to see surprises today, and we haven't seen any surprise so far on the Heretic side, so this
Viper?
could be it. Well, Agent Select is here, so let's find out
Sky?
what Heretics have in store for us. Of course, Lau's going to play that Sage. Very much expected. Boaster is back on the Omen, so does that mean Doma is once again playing Reyna?
I'll be very surprised. No, Mao is
Sova.
Oh,
there's a
okay.
Viper from Avova.
Okay.
Going there. I mean, see, the thing is, on Icebox, I don't think it was the map. It did look like he was just that little bit uncomfortable with the agent. And maybe it was the specific situations he was in. But hold on.
Sky!
Oh, what are we doing to us, Avova? Come on.
They're
He's
doing
just
it on
trolling us
purpose.
now,
They-
man.
He is.
They're
He
just doing it on
knows, he
purpose. They came to the broadcast at some point. They saw our reactions whenever they just kind of like bait us into like those agents or less usual agents, and now they're just doing dirty.
You know what? Okay, there might not be anything. Maybe what he was talking about at the time over Nuki, maybe he was talking about Icebox coming out, because at that point they already had the
True,
veto done,
true,
right?
true.
So that must be what it was, because they're or either that or they're trolling us, because there's nothing strange on their side. But what is good, what I'm happy about, what you're happy about, is that we've got a Viper back over on Mystic. And Mystic, I said it earlier on Twitter, Mystic is my favorite Viper right now. Summon FC have my favorite Viper play globally. So I'm excited to see them once again take on Heretics, but now on a map where they look amazing with an agent comp that has been working so well for them.
Also, let's just talk about the fact this is the third iteration of Bind we've seen from Summon FC. This is the third team comp. So, you know, before when Boaster played Omen, Doma played Reyna. So now Doma is playing Raze. So I don't know where it ends. How many team comps do they have?
I mean, they're back to basics, right? The whole idea there was that they were playing against a team of FPX who had heavily anti-stratted them, that they obviously didn't want to come in with their standard game plan. Throwing a Reyna out there, as they said in the interview, trying to get Doma to be the one that was fragging out. Didn't need it because Mystic apparently plays Duelist on the Viper. But this is now them back to just their comfort zone, I think.
Yep.
Lothar, anything to add? Are you as excited as Mitch?
I'm pretty excited because, you know, we have seen so far superior appearances from almost every single player on Bind. I feel like this is our classic map for VALORANT. At least that's how field feels for me. Bind, whenever I see it, I see some iconic situations. I see some iconic like executions coming from players. I just wanted to point out one thing because I think it's a good spot to talk about it. Weapon usage. No one talked about Phantom and Vandal so far. And I look at the stats before this final happened. Phantom was more used in Europe by 44 times, but the sample size was actually 1900. So it's 51% to 49 in Europe. I wonder if someone from the NA talent is currently watching us, and if they could just throw that in from their side, because I'm interested how NA is different to you in that regards.
I always love those stats, and I can't wait for more stats at the end of the finals. But for now, this is a must-win for Summon FC if they want to stay in the finals. But Heretics are just one map away from taking it all. Can they do it? Let's find out.
All right, how bad does Summon FC want this? It's all on the line now. Do they live to fight another day, or will this be it? Will this be their final stand and Heretics claim the crown here in Europe? It's all still to be played for. Bind now coming up. We need to talk about what this map is going to entail, what to expect, and what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen so far, we've seen Summon pretty much put on the best performance we've seen on Bind from any team. I'm going to go ahead and say that definitively. You know, the strength in the retakes, which is something we find ourselves talking about time and time again with Summon. Again, seeing this Viper comp come out, they're looking to strengthen that post-plant position, deny those diffuses, looking for the very, very macro-based executions. But Heretics, They have been grinding it out, leading up to this event, and pretty much up until now. I mean, they haven't had comfortable map wins. It's been a brawl, so to say.
It has been, and in 13 seconds we start what could be the final map. It's on SUMN to try and make something happen. They have to dig deep here. It's their time to shine. If there's any moment, it has to be now. Otherwise, Heretics, they'll be the ones walking away with that first place. And here we go. SUMN will be on the attack and Heretics on the defensive side.
All right, going to tuck that spy cam down again, giving some information over to him that potentially a B hit coming through. But again, eyes back towards the minimap. Look at SUMN FC's position. The spike all the way behind Fountain. One tucked up on short, and here you go. All three going to TP back through, but there's 3 members of Heretics over on A side still. They haven't rotated.
Heretics should plant their feet. If they watch that FPX game, they know that SUMN are going to run around this map constantly. And you're seeing it right now. Look at Viper, look at the spike, and look at where it's going.
All the way back over to B long, so mind games again coming out from SUMN FC in the pistol round, and Pora has to hold strong here. He's actually going to hop up into window. He's still got the trap wire set up there. But again, if he can stay alive, nobody from SUMN FC actually pressuring towards window. But having said that, Mogan quickly the teleporter here, and he's actually going to find Pora. That's huge for SUMN FC.
Absolutely perfect play to isolate the player in towards that window room, and we know the post plant is strong. This is a purely choreographed round from SUMN. Their strength now being shown, but the retakes from Heretics have been on point. But on point is Doma. That's going to be one, can't turn quick enough. Nuki on the trade, and now 3 stand for Heretics. Wait, they're on the spike. He's holding it.
Wait.
He's not letting go of it. No one's stopping him! It's gonna be a wait, don't you, Mystic? Just stop him in time!
Mystic just got the kill there.
You are the absolute MVP once again. That was so close. But Lol fancies his chances. Would you dare go through this again? Heretics, they don't know how to get rid of this. They don't know what to do. And Boast has just been waiting. He dies, but Mystic holds on. Lol! He jumps on it. Does he have time? Yes, he does.
No way.
Can you believe it? Heretics, down to the final seconds, just about get it.
I mean, a similar situation to what we saw with the Hunter's Fury on Haven. Again, not able to run that clock down fast enough. Do you know what? Heretics swinging in his 4 immediately there. That's them playing into that. They're playing into the strategy. The fact that SUMN FC are banking on being able to run the clock down. They all swing out. They cause this chaos on site. It's fantastic to see already in round 1.
Okay, this is going to be an incredible game. We also had a full defuse with like 3 people alive for either side. Like, what on earth are we going to get? Now, Lol, I do want to highlight as a bit of a pivotal player in my eyes. His control towards showers is going to be incredible, I feel. He is very solid, but this could be a freebie to start with. Boast is creeping up on this. Mystic's taking some damage. Avova on the other side. They now know people are here. There is 2 players very present. Look at Pora. Look at the position. Look at him die. Mo's got him dead to rights.
Yeah, Niso actually had to back all the way off of that because of the paranoia. But once again, the mind game's coming out. All 4 members of SUMN FC taking the TP, but wrapping back through the attacker's spawn. They're heading back over towards B, trying to bait out this rotation from Heretics. Utility invested now in anticipation of the push towards showers.
They'll have the number advantage wherever they go. They will be in the better position here on the attacking side, but obviously the weaker weaponry will still be an issue. Some of them working with Boaster with just a frenzy. It's not much to write home about, but the clock might be run a little low here. They're about 40 seconds in. Avova just got a spot.
Smoke down.
Gonna just smoke it off, buy a little bit of time, build up a penetrable, but a wall, at least a vision, to keep that Cypher away, but they are walking up long. There is still Niso on the site, and he should be watching this. He is holding the angle, not passively, completely actively. A very similar hit coming through here. Niso's going to commit in towards this. He's not afraid, but maybe he should be. Boaster bursts out, Spike goes down. Avova has held position, though. This time the retake is going to be quite tricky with just 3 of them alive. SUMN have all those players standing.
And again, maintaining B-long control. What I want to see Heretics do is try and pressure that position away, weaken this post-plant strength the SUMN have. But actually, Lol going to find 2 kills. He finds the 3rd as well. He's got absolutely huge already.
Mystic's still alive, though. We know what this post-plant can do. They have to pressure him down now, and they can't do it. It looks like they're running out of options. Rezon Nuki comes in. Wait, they found Jack. Where is Mystic? The man's clutched before, but he's got to do it again. That's 1. He can't get more. Oh dear, Heretics this time should be able to get it going, but this is going to be close again.
I mean, it's just their ability to run the clock down. No, he's got that.
Okay, I get a little nervous. He's got that 1.7.
Yeah, easy.
Easy.
Easy, all day long, all day long. But the thing is there, again, Mystic, he's got both sets of utility. Again, Lowell here, just a little bit sloppy, I'm going to be honest. Not a single player from Summon holding onto this angle to watch the walkout from Spawn.
Yeah, missing some part of the piece of the puzzle there. I mean, I guess you could argue they were expecting maybe someone to push down Mystic in that post plant, but still,
I mean,
I think at that point you have 5 players alive, you've got to commit one to it.
The person in tube there isn't doing anything. If you've got somebody tucked glass, somebody outside window, the tube angle doesn't do much for them. But hopefully going to develop on that as the game progresses. One thing I want to see, and I just said it there, Heretics getting even innovative and trying to retake this B-long control in the post-plant scenario, denying Mystic from making use of his utility.
Mark has been set, and Heretics now keeping control of long. They've posted up 2 players this time. No one towards Hookah. They do have a little bit of utility there to keep it safe. And a very cautious start between both sides.
Lowell and Mo, the only 2 with full rifles. Everybody else, SMGs and utility. A little bit slow orb coming down deep, and a heavy focus again onto B-long. You got Avova and Pora in that crossfire. Lowell playing back over towards the spawn. The trap wires holding onto control of window. Doma creeping now. He's actually going to spot out Pora.
Nice.
Swings on it. Avova good for the trade. I'm fine with that.
But now they need to realize there's nothing else coming. Nuki is here, and that timing on the nade is exceptional. This could work out well. They haven't fallen for the fake just yet. 30 seconds, no more attention towards B. They know what's coming.
30
Nuki,
seconds left.
still your nerves. Get ready. And already that's Poster. That's a second. Nuki is worth his weight in gold this round. He's bought the time. He's stopped the spike. But now the plant comes in.
That's going to be able to swing out, though. The Stinger. Niso finds Jack. Now just the one member back on it. Oh, my word. Niso finds a headshot through the wall there. Heretics will hold strong on A site.
I want to highlight as well, Summon are putting them through their paces. These rotations are hard to predict. Their positioning is good. They are trading some of the time, but you can see these individuals from Heretics stepping up massively.
And again, I'm talking about, you know, retaking control, denying Summon FC some of these tools that are so vital to their game plan. You know, eyes go towards players like Lowell, you know, those long, progressive lurks, the flanks coming out from him, Pora as well. But on the flip side of that, looking over towards Nuki and Niso, who we know have come up huge in these situations in gunfights.
Once again, the question gets posted. Yes, we know Summon can get a plant, but what's the depth to this? We didn't see the depth really get pushed by FPX, I feel, to an extent. They got run over every now and then, and they hit a brick wall, but now we are going to see that being pushed by all manner of ways. It does look like that Hookah presence is
waiting for the
so
TP. Look at
subtle.
this.
Pora, that is so smart. Galaxy Brain! Pora just 200 IQ'd them. He keeps going. This is brutal to watch and very well played from Pora, reading the game incredibly well.
Just such a good read. And do you know what? That's something that Summon tried numerous times. The smoke down over tube, the cheeky little TP out, and then everybody explodes out window. It's fantastic to see Pora just playing into that, just holding that position.
Okay, Heretics are kind of kicking things up. We were wondering what depth do Heretics have. Keep in mind, this is the first true look at Europe. This is the first time we have that true opportunity.
But this here, this is anti-Stratton. This is looking at the plays they like to make on these eco rounds, getting that utility down. As soon as they see the smoke, he knows what's coming. He stood there ready for it.
It's perfect. Pora putting on a show for the fans. They are in number as well. This man's got a following that he is making happy today. But 4-0 Summon. We need to get this going. This can't just be a couple of tricks up the sleeve. We have to see that depth. We have to see that grit, determination, all those hours, the blood, sweat, and tears that they've poured into this. As I said, some of these guys, you know, this isn't a career yet for them. It's in the making. They've left their jobs. They're looking to try and commit. And this is what stands in the way right now for them. The opponent, Heretics, on the other side, with 4 rounds in their favor. Good purchase from both teams here and a patient start.
It is, and Heretics mix it up a little bit. They're going to opt to play deep on B side this time. Avova and Pora all the way back in elbow. And again, the owl drone coming through. It's going to give some information across both ways, to be honest with you. But the spy cam above window, and this is the one we saw come up clutch previously. Again, they're happy to give up front side control when it suits them.
See that patience in play.
30 seconds left.
Dedicated towards his angle. He knows what's coming his way now. Red alert! The alarm bell rings and he stays cool under pressure. Doma's dead. And now the information's found, but Boaster's there. Suddenly, Boaster behind enemy lines, able to make something count. Heretics now with 3 standing. We hear the ultimate coming in, forcing that plant to be uncomfortable. Spike is still going down and Boaster's still doing work. Where was Lowell in this? He's still in towards lamps. Okay, this retake's got a little bit of leg to it. There could be something. No. Mo denies. Now, Pora, you're good, but how good are you? A 1v2?
Neural theft.
All right, let's see if he's going to go for it. He does. He's committing to this one. Boaster's close by towards lamps and one towards shower. He knows the positions, and this is tricky. These are not easy 1v1s to win if they play this correctly. Pora? No.
Oh my god.
No. No. No! Oh, Boaster keeps him in to the final couple of seconds there. Well played by Boaster to get behind enemy lines. Once again, leading from the front.
SUMN post their first round though. Again, a decent hit onto A. I mean, Niso did well to stay alive as long as he did, but this is perfect. Just counting down the seconds there. He knows exactly when to swing on it just to absolutely guarantee if he is sticking it, as Pora was.
Okay, we see the op coming out for Nuki. I want to see what he does with that, see where he takes it. If he gets aggressive, potentially. I mean, you know, it's no jet, but Ray certainly can get a little bit of a wiggle on. See what they do with this one now. We'll see the wall coming up. Early utility exchange over towards B long.
So ultimate's coming online. Mystic has that Viper ultimate, so again, cornerstone of SUMN's tactic. As I say that, actually Mystic finds Pora. Lowell going to respond onto the dome. And actually a weird play from Heretics. They want to take some control back of this TP that SUMN have tried to employ so many times already. Again, no contact over here, so Nuki and Lau now headed all the way back over to B site, but SUMN are going to be able to get in for free, seemingly. And look, they're already setting up the utility.
I do want to see how they approach the post plant in this. Okay, that ultimate's going to make things trickier now. Going to keep them safe for a very large portion of this. Spike is also going to be very much under wraps. The retake is rough, and Nuki spent a lot this round. You don't want to go and let that go to waste, but there has to be an opportunity to present itself, and that ultimate coming out from Viper is its worst nightmare.
Indeed, looking like they're leaning over, try and clear elbow. Actually, the Hunter's Fury going to get invested here. Oh my god, Avova staring down Boaster, but the barrel comes through. Niso actually gets 2 tags with the Hunter's Fury through here, so 2 members lose some HP, but they've got to be quick here. SUMN running the clock down, and we know that's what their game plan revolves around.
I think Heretics are running out of time. Lol's just picked up the op. It might be time to back away. It is. They gave it a little bit of a look in. They saw if they could get some more picks, but very well played with that Viper ultimate to keep control of that kind of elbow area, keeping some of those maps dirtier angles safe.
Yeah, really, really good stuff from SUMN again. Putting utility to good use, and it's that zone denial again. It buys so much time for them. Again, elbow. Difficult to clear anyway at the best of times, let alone when the Viper ultimate is over there. Cheeky.
Hello?
Cheeky.
Hello?
Yeah, he didn't like that one.
Same. No, I'm with you there. Nuki does have the AWP still. That was picked up by one of the buddies, so he's probably dropped a gun out to one of the others. I think Lowell actually picked it up. So Nuki can be invested into this round, basically. You want to see him do well. An adjustment from Lowell as well. He's going to be putting the wall up and leaving Avova to fight Chak. Wait, that's a huge mistake. There's the TP coming in. Where is Boaster? Last time he did well with this, but a similar position TP to might give away some of the ideas. But Heretics are just posted up here.
Oh, indeed. And actually, I'm looking over towards Mo. He's deep in spawn, and Owl throwing this out, but keep your eyes on the minimap. Pora already making moves. All of this information is going to feed Heretics what they need.
Boaster's going to give away positioning now. His position noted, but Lowell's surrounded. He's got players behind him, in front of him. He's trying to do what he can, but now he leaves his buddy alone. Avova all on his lonesome. It's going to be Niso to try and bail him. Niso, cometh the hour, cometh the man. He stepped up to the plate. And SUMN, that spike being lost where it was, completely ruined this round's intentions.
Yeah, a little bit of a slip up, we'll say. And like I said, as soon as that happened, you know that SUMN are going to prioritize retrieving that. So Pora is able to just walk all the way through the map. And again, I mean, it comes full circle. He's the last one to deal the headshot to win the round. But that's a little bit strange because, to be honest with you, I mean, if you take a look at the early rounds, SUMN usually always drop the spike somewhere. They leave it somewhere in market. They leave it somewhere outside fountain.
Yeah.
So not entirely sure about that one.
I mean, not many people get to discuss playing at this sort of pressure moment, these sort of levels that they're dealing with. The smallest decisions can make the biggest differences. Boma, careful now. Looking to move around. That spike is safely in the hands of Boaster this time.
I have the spike.
They're not going to put it down.
Just don't leave it in the showers. It's fine.
Toxin screen down.
Again, we haven't seen too much of it. Maybe this wall is just a bit of conditioning on the side of Summon. They don't want to rely on it the same way. Again, you know, hopefully they're going to have something to play around it at some point, and they'll bring that out when necessary. I mean, the only time we've really seen it is to cut off the Boaster TP into heaven, but hold that thought. Utility all over the place here on B side. Mo all the way through with his Aldrone. Now Boaster again TPing up on top of Tube. The spike out for Pora. Again, that just the information. He doesn't need to peek out here. He doesn't need to find anything. Look at it.
Yeah, for now, Heretics just need to stay calm. As you can see, the pause from Summon is to try and buy time, see if there's a pick available. Now they were going to get the spike planted. Pora overpeaks and Boaster punishes. Nice little fade away from him. Happy to at least get a small advantage on the board here. Utility being kept as well from Summon, but Avova with the trade eventually comes in. And now let's see what they've got to play with. Much utility left, I don't know. Lol's going to lead the way, jumps across, tries to join his buddy.
Good stick as res. They do it quick enough.
You will not.
And they've gone for it. All right, they're committing to this. Niso now speeds up the pace. He's got to get moving, clears out Tubi, gets it. Nuki gets Doma, but we know this post-plant is a problem.
Oh, he can stick
And he's on
inside.
it. Look at this. Look at the angle he's on. You cannot stop it. Diffuse comes in, and Heretics pull off the retake.
And again, Heretics playing around that revive, just holding on to control, keeping Summon all the way back and actually securing that area. That's down to Avova clearing out elbow, getting to that position deep enough and securing the position for Lowell to come in. Mystic again tries to make something work from the cubby over towards Long, but maybe he could have been good for two there and things would have gone a little differently.
This is getting tense now for Summon. They've been throwing a lot at the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm hoping this would be a tactical for them. Not too sure. Hopefully we get confirmation. Because they do have enough to get a decent buy, but it's not a great purchase. Doma's a little light, but still. This is time to talk things over. Heretics can keep playing this. They don't have to adapt too much, I feel. They've got a good grip on what's going on. The retakes are working. But Summon, they're getting on the site. They're getting the spike down, but they're not able to hold it.
Well, this is the thing. They're not getting shut out. And that would be a major concern. If we're now here looking at the scoreline 6-2, these rounds are close. And it's coming down to, you know, the discipline of Heretics, the way that they stack up for these retakes, but also I love the approach, how quickly they're looking to deny those post-plant positions that we know are so strong for Summon FC.
You know, Summon, how much do you have to play with on this? This is the thing. We know they're a good team, but they are a team that have been quieter than some of the big names. They are not the G2s. They are not the Liquids yet. They are not the FPXs yet. Yet. This would be the crowning moment. I mean, looking at Heretics, they were the ones kind of building in the shadows. Everyone looked at them, especially those in the know of the team that could do damage. We know what they've been doing, what they've been up to, but they hadn't had the accolades to their name yet. This would be the crowning jewel, of
Oh,
course.
absolutely. This would kickstart
Yep.
some the biggest accolades so far, to be honest. So it definitely would validate all the hype around this. Again, unsung heroes could be the heroes crowned here.
Certainly could be. Looking at Summon this round, the purchase is very choppy. Jack, Mystic, Doma, Mo all working with a little less. I mean, Mystic, I'm curious to see what you can make happen with that.
Show us something. Looking back over, Ultimate Swides of Avova has the orbital strike. The other side, Jack does have neural theft, so again, not too much in the arsenal for Summon FC. Maybe look for that first blood, but again, Heretics and their default. I mean, this is another variation on it, but look how deep it is. They're reading into the fact it's a poor buy for Summon. They don't want to close these angles. Now, maybe making use of the wall. There you go. It goes up, hides the TP from Boaster.
Nuki, he's still here though. He's found one. That's a problem. Boaster has to find a trade now, and he can't get rid of that op just yet, but he could get rid of Pora. Maybe not.
He's got
Pora.
Spike.
Oh gosh, these mistakes are going to come back to haunt them, and now all the information flowing through. Nuki still alive, getting away with murder. Doma finds Pora finally.
Spike tucked all the way in there. Nuki now finds Jack, swings out, finds another. 4 on the round for Nuki. Huge plays from him with the operator.
The first time we've seen him really get some freedom with it, and what a look he gives us. That's a confident little smile in it. Well, this is getting to the pointy end of the stick here, if I'm honest. SUMN needed an answer after that pause, and they haven't found it.
Boaster with the spike. Was he aware? I don't know. I don't know. Again, he was super close to getting that kill onto Pora. I think he's come to clear the backside. There's that corner behind Triple underneath Heaven. Unfortunately, though, it does lose the spike there. It's a precarious spot to then fish out of. With Nuki still posted up with that operator, he controls so much of A short.
Yeah, and now with that presence noted, I feel as though you could almost leave A just in the hands of Nuki if you want to. But we'll see what SUMN decide to do now with that information noted that Nuki is on one today. Oh, different angle to look for as well. I like that. An adjustment, not going to be too easy to read. Trying to hold that shower control if anyone dares step across. They're putting a lot of faith in this man. You even go see Cypher kind of sitting very deep towards that CT side or defender's side. Almost a B lean here.
It is actually, yeah, 4 coming all the way over to B. Boaster going to throw down some smoke. So he's actually going to try and TP up there. He does. The wall comes up. That's actually that's huge. There you go. That's the kind of thing I want to see them do with this wall. The double TP is going to get himself so deep onto site.
Nuki is lucky to be alive, but Boaster's going to press the issue. That's one, but the trade of Over is there, and make sure that doesn't go too badly wrong. But the intention was great. I loved the wall, the timing. It was perfect.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful to block off that TP from Boaster, and he finds the kill as well.
Now with the spike down, we have to see if this retake can work. Heretics have been pulling this off, but SUMN, they have good post-plant positionings. Niso is on it, though. Does get off for a second, draws out that utility, isolates Raze, and there's no one there to trade it. There's the ultimate coming in, but we're going to see Viper once again trying to hold on. Chak is doing everything he can from the showers, and this looks like it's working out. That Viper in those post-plants, it does so much work.
So we'll find the first, but Mo seals the deal. Absolutely love that. I mean, I hope there's a couple of more they've got up their sleeve, because that wall TP play was absolutely beautiful to watch.
You could see the intention, and I would love the desk to break that down any day of the week. You could see the timing, the intention, and what it does in literal seconds to perfection on it.
I think I can hear Mitch and Lothar fighting over doing the telescope.
Let me do it. Oh, bless him. And you can see how much it means to SUMN to get one back on the board. It feels like they've been a bit of a drought for a couple of rounds. It's been rough. That Nuki round is going to sting. But they're back on it now. They've got a good purchase. They finish out the rest of these rounds. It's game back on.
Weapons across the board. Nuki still with the operator. So, see the recon goes through the TP there. Going to reveal some information for Lowell. He's already put the wall down. Actually, the spy cam from Chak going to give up the gig, so he can't push through there right now. But 4 members of SUMN FC stacked up towards B-Long. 3 members of Heretics over here. Cypher utility over in window means they can prioritize holding long here.
Deploying drone.
Okay, no information found, at least for the attacking side this time around. Let's see what Niso can get. Anything to be located? Yes, not bad. Okay, bit of info. Checking towards Hookah. No one's there this time. It was that long stack, as you discussed.
Oh, they're peeling away from it, though. Spike making his way back past Fountain, and 2 members of SUMN FC as well. Just Boaster left on this lurk, sorry. But Niso hesitates in a little bit of the rotation. Now that the walls drop through showers, maybe Chak looking to re-aggress into that area. Now Niso rejoins his teammates over towards A in Heaven.
30 seconds left. Threat of Nuki here, and he's going to be ahead of that wall this time. Look at the adjustment on the difference of the angle. Let's see if he goes ahead of it. He is. Nade going to go through first. Does he commit? He's expecting potentially Boaster to come out or anything else, any of that utility that could come through. Ultimate's being popped now, and Nuki's got another. That's Doma. He's on the adjustment. He's posted on the side. This is Nuki playing above and beyond for his side. Finds the Viper, sends it. 7 seconds. And look at the spike. Nuki's eyes are not going to leave that angle. 2 seconds. 1. It's done. It's Heretics, and it's Nuki being incredibly good.
I mean, again, SUMN FC leaving it very, very late in the round. One thing I do want to highlight, these 4 players that were so active on B-Long the whole time, SUMN FC had 1 member set up for the post plant already. You're sacrificing 1 body up, and when Nuki can pull out 2 or 3 kills on the entry, I can't help but feel you need that extra body to throw at it.
Okay, I already love the fact that Nuki just went, oh, I see what you did with that wall. I'm going to just sit in front of it then.
I'm going to say,
It's cool. It, you know, we call it a wall, but
That's cute.
actually
That's
you
cute.
can walk in front of them and through them. It's sick. But that is going to be a problem to get past. Nuki's coming alive in this one. Oh, the money. Oh no, Boaster's just got absolutely beaten to start with. And there ain't no Sage to help you out here.
Indeed, and scrappy in terms of equipment for Summon here. Frenzy and a Sheriff in the hands of Chak and Boaster. Everybody else with a rifle. Just the Viper ultimate online for Summon. Now's the time to invest. Obviously, last round of the half here. Want to make a play around it. And I think they're leaning back towards that B play, but this is the variation of the Heretics setup here. Playing very deep in elbow. They're happy to give up front sight control.
Bora, going to see a lot of this coming now. They are on the site. We know that they can get that spike down. It's the post plants they've been struggling to maintain. That's a new element, though.
That's it, yeah. Bora, wow, taking a lot of chip damage over in elbow. Spike will go down, Boaster falls, but still 5 bodies up for Heretics.
Look at the damage done. Lol's lower, Pora was lower, Avova was low. Now they found one of them, Beniso trying to get a little bit of information back and keep that player towards window. Humble, Doma's good for 1. They need a couple more though. Nice play from Doma.
Beautiful.
Keeping Summon with a bit of hope in this one. That is going to at least give them some wiggle room in that second half.
I mean, that scoreline does not tell the story of what we saw in that attacking half for Summon. Now, though, eyes go back towards what we saw with their debut here versus Cobras, how dominant they were. Will Heretics lean into that, or have they got a way to anti-strat? Heretics are looking a lot more flexible. The biggest criticism we had up until, I mean, yesterday, I'll say, was kind of them being slow to react, them being slow to kind of take control of the game. And then we saw towards the end of the G2 series how in control they were. This right now is actually just, they're very dominating. Again, Nuki not afraid to take these close angles, these aggressive angles on very close contact. And I mean, if they can continue that through the attacking half, it's going to be scary for Summon FC.
It is baiting out on the TP though. Boaster quick enough to do it, so he gets back to his own site, so he's not going to be out of position for this if they do continue to push. And they are just walking up long. They're just straight walking this one. He's going to hear that, but look at how far this Cypher's getting ahead. He's already going to find one. Boaster had no idea this was a possibility. And now the players in towards Hookah, we should probably be watching them, are going to be the ones to try and do it. The Raze, Doma, for example, could be the one to spot these players trying to get that spike down. Mystic going to try and do some damage towards the site. Not going to get too much, but there's the pressure now coming back in. Nuki wants that 1v1, and he's going to get it. He actually wins it even after getting that nade in the right place. Mo and Mystic now have to pull this off.
Mystic swings out from the spawn here, not afraid. Come on, take this fight, but the recon ball actually going to reveal him. Niso swings up the top, finds the headshot. Mystic will fall. Mo still tucked inside the spawn here. Goes for the headshot. He'll find one, but now he finds himself in a 1v2 situation. 8 HP left.
Spike begins to tick that ever bit faster. He knows the timing is now not on his side. He has to make the play, and they're giving him nothing. A fake on the spike, and they show even less. It's Lol to close it down, picking up the pistol in the second half. That's going to be double digits so soon.
It will, and it's interesting to see here if Summon do opt to buy back in. We've seen him try and force the issue with these round 2. Poor, so good for these clearances, just threading the needle. That headshot there swings wide on Chak. Unfortunately, doesn't win that one, but didn't matter in the end.
What does Summon FC do with their money in this? Because sometimes you're going to have to let them get that little bit further ahead, but it's horrible to play a game back from 11, 10. This round should, of course, go the way of Heretics just due to the money, but we have seen someone pull a couple of these off. They have done some, like, weirdly good rounds. So I'm waiting to see if they have anything maybe to play with. It looks like a gamble stack for now.
Well, this is what we're used to seeing from Heretics now. Again, just running down the clock early on, waiting for any pushes and just trying to react based off that information. Heavy stack on towards A for Summon FC, and it's only really Boaster over this side of the map. So he's got to deal with everyone here if he wants to come out and take a fight. Looks like he's going to try and walk towards elbow, potentially, way out of this rotation. But nobody from Summon FC moving yet. Pora, got to be careful here. The TP is going to have the first one come out, but the trade is good from Doma.
Okay, keep your eyes on
Spike
Summon here. They
planted.
need to do damage with this, and so far a 1-for-1 is not bad. They could do with more, but you can see Heretics are not letting any freebies come through. LOL is watching this with everything he's got. Nice bit of work there on the utility damage. Nuki is going to keep Boaster humble though. Summon getting no freebies this time.
One player
Nuki,
remaining.
Avova, Spectre's doing work versus the pistols. Jack now going to pick himself a Spectre of his own, but 30 HP. Don't really see him doing much else here. Maybe just look for an exit kill. No, he's not.
Okay, double
Before you know,
digits.
Avova just got his ultimate online as well. The third round of their attack here. Obviously, they've taken the B long orb. Avova putting some kills up as well. So now it's interesting because this is very early on in the half to have the ultimates coming online. I'm not sure how the rest of Heretics do look, but the orbital strike, we know how big a component it can be on Bind.
Can open up opportunities, it can close them down as well. It is very versatile in approach, and now with double digits looming, we have to look bigger picture for Summon. They do not have much left to play with. This is the big, and it's the gun round coming in, and they have everything invested. If they don't have this, it'll probably be 2 more rounds to follow, so Summon know the pressure of this round, and I'm sure Heretics do as well.
Creep in B long once again. Boaster will destroy it, give his position away. Jack, nothing really peeking his way, but Boaster finds a freebie onto Nuki as he walks out.
Very nice. from
Careful
Boaster.
here. Yeah, really good to hold that angle, actually.
For Heretics, it felt like they were just kind of throwing it at the wall, see if it sticks, see if they can catch someone out. I don't even mind it. They have rounds to play with. It does play a dangerous game, but if they could have caught Boaster in unawares, that would have been perfect. Jack is so unlucky to not be hitting these. They are so close by. And they're still continuing for Boaster. He's going to play through the smoke. He sees one. He needs more. He sprays it wildly. He gets 3 this round. And Mystic joins in. And Pora just has to watch as Boaster just battered his team.
Absolutely destroyed him on the way in there. Or I will find one consolation. Well, say consolation. Never count this man out.
If you see it's Pora, you just go, nah, boys. Sit in. Do not give him a
30
chance.
seconds left.
I love that, again, Boaster gives up his position. They know he's playing close because of the owl drone being destroyed, but he just sits there. He's waiting for somebody to walk out.
He can play... he can't play around the edge of it. Timing's gone. It's 10 seconds. Summon, they've done enough to
10
live this
seconds left.
round. It is going to be round by round. They have to claw this one back from the brink. And that's going to be 5 on the board. So there is a chance. It's slim, but it's there now.
Big round, though. We talked about economy before that. That was everything. Everything in the bank for Summon FC. So a huge round for them to pick up. And, you know, hats off to Boaster, like I said, holding the fort. Fantastic play into these smokes. So again, the spy cam tag comes through, excuse me.
One enemy remaining.
Giving him the second kill, but Mystic holding on, just pivoting off his contact. Really, really nice stuff.
Okay, and now it's the build back for Summon. They have to piece this together. It can't just be that one round. Now, yes, it's great that Boaster did well there, but you want consistency, and they have to find that now. Heretics do have a better purchase coming back in. They were on the lighter weaponry, so this is their rifle round. So it doesn't get easier for Summon. They are up against it for sure, and LOL does start to build that control towards the showers.
Nothing really actually from Heretics over towards B, so that information is actually going to force Boaster into a rotation. He's going to tuck all the way into heaven. Looks like Chak now happy to play back, but the hit looks like it's going to come through. Spike now all the way up short, and 2 members to come alongside the oil drone here as well. Oh no, he got tagged
first. Yeah, Doma's in a bit of trouble here. He's going to be revealed. He has to be very cautious with how he approaches this. Spray downpour has got him. And now there's 3 Mystic. How bad do you want to keep this together? He's desperate to hold it. 20 HP is diving away. The ultimate just about makes it through. Desperation being called upon. Mo is still alive. And here we have a 2v2 still. Catch your breath for a second, Summon. It's not over yet. Gonna re-engage with that drone
planted.
being thrown back in. Post-plant scenario now.
One enemy remaining.
Actually, Chak swinging onto
Very
Niso. I'm not
nice.
sure why Niso swung back behind the truck there. Maybe just trying to catch off somebody creeping into lamps. Avova still has the molly, though, so Summon FC can't let the clock run down here. The Recon Dart going to come in, give away Avova's
Nice.
position. Stimpack goes down. Going to opt to try and swing onto this potentially. Chak holding the close angle here. He's going to win the 1v1. Avova falls. Summon Hold on.
Okay, we still have to keep looking at that money. We have to keep it in mind. They cannot afford to get low on funding here. Losing 3 isn't the end of the world. They get the round, and that's what they essentially needed. You can see Mystic and Boaster. These guys, they're not elated to be staying alive. They know this is an uphill struggle. This is a long way back in. And individually, they've been holding this one on. Nice work coming back through there. Amazing work by Mystic to stay alive, even just falling away. Eventually did get fined by Nuki, but it bought time for that 2v2 to begin.
Unfortunately, again, I love the synergy as well. The slow orb goes down underneath the orbital strike just to try and catch Mystic, pin him into that corner. And we know how effective that is at just zoning. But I love the synergy there to try and convert that into a kill.
Okay, we've got the kind of half buy coming out, the SMGs, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Nothing too much. You've got the full armor on Nuki, but that's about it. Everyone else on half or less. Mystic is going to be the one to probably take the first glimpse of this. Maybe Nuki. Excuse me, Doma as well. Yeah, they're going to be going on this. It's Motown Pora to start with, actually. The elevated angle paying dividends here.
Nuki does have his showstopper, and there you go, you hear it. But immediately, Mo shuts it down. Mo's good for the third now. Holding this push back from Heretics. Avova stuck into Lampstone. Ooh.
Oh, Avova's been noted now. You're not getting any free bits of work here. Lol is there with him, but damaged up. Only the Ghost does have a little bit of utility to play with, but they ain't going to let this one happen. You lock this down all days of the week. There is a bit of spray in Avova. Baited in. Mo with the ace. Perfect way to close down.
Fantastic stuff from Mo. Really, really good holding down that angle from Heaven. Again, just lining him up. And actually, Nuki investing the showstopper there on the light buy, just trying to convert a kill out. And then, again, we did see SMGs on the side of Heretics as well. So the end of the world, there you go. These last two, nicely done. They line up for him.
Okay, SUMN, you've got that window you needed. You found the gap to close us back in. Bear in mind, this would just be to get to the next map. It is match point against them in the series. If you look at it, 2 maps favorable towards Heretics, and of course 1 to SUMN. And they ain't even on even pegging yet. Normally, I'd wait till we get to about 10 rounds till I call it, you know, a comeback or not. But you know what? SUMN are playing lights out right now to try and save themselves here. And a play towards B again beginning.
Yeah, Heretics. I'm holding on too close here. And actually, Niso sending a little bit of utility to try and clear out some of these angles. And the Hunter's Fury invested. Nuki finds Mystic, though, with the paint shells.
Boaster.
Now Boaster swings out. He's only good for 1. Avova finds that trade. SUMN now down to 3.
Nice pick there from Doma, though. Keeping Pora at least held back for now. Gets another. That spike down. And now looking at LOL. The flank is coming from Niso, though. It's so far away, but he's going to be good for at least 1. He can get this information. This could be a disaster. Keep your eyes on the flank. Get to Niso right now. He is going to find 1 and potentially 2. Oh, wait. Mo almost turned that. But now it's a 1v2. Doma, what can you do about this? You've got a player behind you. You've got a player in front of you.
Lowell should about have 5 seconds until his heal's back online, so keep an eye on that because he's low HP right now. There you go.
30
it's
seconds
just
left.
gone. Now Doma finds himself in a really tricky situation. 1v2, both players back up to reasonable health. He finds that headshot on the first. Niso swings out.
Time. He's playing the time so well. He goes above Doma! You absolute god!
That was absolutely disgusting from Doma. Again, odds stacked against him. Lowell playing time, waiting for that ability to come back online. He's tucked in tube. Doma can't freely explore these angles, and he finds 2 separate 1v1s.
Amazing he was able to isolate that. And you could see the intention that was coming back in from the Sova on the other side. They wanted to trade, but Doma so quick to get up there. God, I wish they were here in the studio. This is the thing, it makes me miss events, man. Oh, could you imagine? For now, though, no imagining. We have a real game on our hands. 8 to 10, Heretics hitting a bit of a brick wall.
Indeed, I mean, again, looking like they're going to explore this B push. Heavy stack on long. Pora coming through window now, but
Cover going.
and SUMN backing up. Boaster and Mystic now over towards defensive spawn. So they... I was going to say keeping Chak in elbow, but Nuki was closing the distance there and he'll find the kill as well.
This gets a little bit sketchy. They've lost a little bit of map territory they'd probably like to keep. They could get wrapped on, so Boaster's going to be super careful. And now he's getting super low. Over a quick trade on it as well. Mystic now feeling smothered, and he is. Hold on, this isn't the round you're meant to be winning. Doma doesn't agree either. He wants to keep this favorable, but he can't.
Spike planted.
A 2v3 with these two again in a post plant. Mo and Doma called upon from the Summon side. Mo's now low, but they've done it again. No, surely. LOL.
Revive.
Wait, he's going around time. It's everything. He gets one. And now the 1v1. Mo is so low in this scenario. And LOL, the guy's a veteran. Years of experience. The plants for him. The frags for him. Heretics get to 11.
Wow. The important thing though, SMG's on the side of Heretics, they're able to close the distance so quickly. The fact that SUMN FC backed up, they gave away a couple of sightlines and allowed Heretics to make use of the weaponry they had.
That was a damn good Red Bull clutch as well. I mean, we've seen these players now. LOL, Mo, Doma clutching out time and time again. Ooh, okay. But the problem is we need to remind ourselves why this was looking good for Heretics. They got up to double digits so quickly, and now to 11. The pressure begins to mount further on SUMN FC.
Does indeed. Ultimate's coming online for SUMN, but again, eyes back over towards Heretics. An important LoL didn't invest a revive there. He knew the remaining player was low HP, fancied his chances with the SMG, but Orbital Strike and Neural Theft as well. So lots of tools on the board for Heretics here. Again, SUMN, the full buy back in here. It's going to make it very difficult if Heretics go to 12.
My heart's beating. I can only imagine how SUMN are feeling. Focused in the game right now, but Heretics take that one step back.
This is scary.
Who's it on the other side? Oh,
Jack is the only man on B site right now.
Okay. And Heretics are closing in. They're closing the gap. Boaster's considering maybe leaning around, but no, it is going to be Jack for now. If they keep going this way, they've got 35 seconds, and there's the first bit of utility noted. Jack is all alone. He's isolated. The ultimate's coming in. Jack now holds the defensive angle. He's waiting for the cross. He doesn't see him yet. Now he does. Oh, he's dead. Pora just backhands him on the way across. And now the spike to be planted. They are locked out.
That is absolutely huge. Pora drops the Neural Theft, and actually Boaster still finds the kill because he
Doma did as well.
on Fountain.
Okay, we still got 3 standing for the Heretics. Niso. Oh, he can't do it. Mo is on one today. Rez now invested. LoL wants this. Boaster still fighting the fight as it's over and LoL. Where are they? LoL, he's got presence along. He has to win this fight. He does. And now looks towards the other side. He's going to see another. He can't do it. SUMN hold on again.
Clean. Really clean retake there from SUMN FC. And the important thing, Boaster TPing all the way down to Fountain. As soon as the Neural Theft goes off, I don't even think Pora had enough time to react to it. The ping comes through. Boaster's already staring him down on B long.
They're pulling it back. They're actually pulling it back. Like, this is a real thing coming in now. That SUMN are digging deep enough. I really did not expect it. They've broken the economy of Heretics. This should be 10-11.
Should be. Definitely should be.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wait and see. I mean, we have seen strange
We've seen so many eco rounds this event. It's crazy.
Okay, Heretics have some half armor, Nuki, Pora, and LoL. LoL's still got a rifle up, bear in mind. So there is a bit of danger to this one. It's certainly not going to be an easy approach. Oh, Jack trying to play is so sneaky. But they're super close here. They've kept it so quiet, but they're on the site. Jack is now in danger. You can see the defensive cages just going up, trying to keep them humble. Jack. Nice work towards Avova. And now where is LoL in this? That is your danger player. Keep that in mind. Nuki could do some damage. He doesn't. And now it's just LoL, and he's going to find Jack, but the other 3 will surely give nothing away now. Gets noted, gets spotted, gets Boaster. Mo says no. SUMN make it to double digits. They are back in the game, ladies and gents. We have a grand final on our hands. SUMN refusing to relent.
It's crazy. The biggest question for me, and I said this beforehand, how much did SUMN FC have left in the tank? Did they burn out too early, showing us those dominant performances in the previous games? But when it matters now, finding round after round against Heretics, and Heretics are playing insane. Yeah, absolutely insane right now. And SUMN FC standing the test.
We go back in. The lead is still with Heretics. The game is in their hands. They could close it out here, or we go all the way through. Boaster falling away from long. This time present on the site. We've seen Chak really put up against it. Solo holding this site on a couple of occasions.
Again, now a little bit of support and the rotation coming through from his teammates. And it's interesting, actually, the way Chak plays around these cages. That being a factor. The Hunter's Fury going to get invested, though. Hopefully, I'm going to clear out Chak. And actually, only damage done to Boaster. So, Chak able to stay here. Trying to invest some utility to clear him out, but they can't get any damage onto Chak.
Yeah, but they've drawn out some of his utility, but that is a great bit of work from Boaster. Going to slow down the roll. Heretics finding no one just yet. Chak is staying alive. Back in the tube. Mystic is helping out the wall. It's a little late and Lol dies for it. And poor your last man alive. A 1v4 in front of him. This is resilience from SUMN. They are digging so deep again.
The hold. The hold from Chak, again, just relaying all of that information. And SUMN, you know what, they banked a lot on the fact that Heretics were actually going to hit
30
there.
seconds left.
It looked like for a second Lowell was able to close the distance, get close enough to the tube to convert that kill. But again, just the trading back and forth of utility just holds them at bay.
The thing for Heretics is we haven't had to ask this question in a while because they've had the lead, but now it's subsided. What do they need to do to stop this turnaround?
10
Because the
seconds
problem
left.
is, I feel, is that SUMN's going to get so much confidence building now.
Heretics, money. That's all I'll say.
Oh, it's going to be bad.
Because, I mean, if you're a gambling man, you've got to say, this is leaning towards 2 on the bounce now for SUMN. So, that's a scary prospect. And Heretics have been here for so long. SUMN have clawed their way back. Clawed their way back.
So we've got 2 rifles, 3. Vova and Nuki might be a little lower for money, though. And Nuki's been your game changer. He's on 2.9 right now. Did you guys at home hear that? Because
That was actually Lauren. Lauren actually did the
Don't
voiceover for that
rat
clip.
me out like this.
Sorry.
Damn. But, okay, we've actually been told it is a tactical timeout for Heretics, and it's the perfect call, because they have to work out what to do with these weaker weapons. Vova and Nuki, they are serviceable, but they are not ideal. They are not the prime weapons to be coming in with. So for them, they've invested. It's now or never for Heretics.
It is, and usually, you know, we've seen them kind of trend upwards towards the end of maps. Right here, SUMN FC, the fact that they're able to hold Heretics back when they look their strongest, which is in, you know, the home stretch of maps. Heretics is not able to find that control that, you know, they've been given elsewhere. And again, playing those defaults they're set up. SUMN FC not really biting. They're not pushing out sites. They're not looking for early kills. And when Heretics can't find them, they're forced to go in for these executes. And SUMN FC have just got so much utility in their arsenal.
Once more into the breach we go. Heretics, the buy is very subpar. They're going to be working with a little less. Nuki and Avova not happy with it. Pora's armor not there. Niso no armor either. And SUMN on the other side have been building brick by bloody brick to get to this point. Avova leading the way.
Can be hit.
They haven't been working out. Boaster and Chak have been holding them back so well. And then the clutch from Doma and Mo has been consistent.
Right, Lowell posted up here outside showers.
Yeah,
Makes me feel as if they're going to TP.
This is
so
different.
Keep an eye on that.
Let's see if we can get Chak to use that utility. That is a big, big victory.
There we go.
And there's the TP. We're already hearing it go through. Now on the other side, Viper is not moved. Keep in mind, Mystic is still here. We still have Mo here as well. Now, what does that Cypher get up to? Can they pull anything? Are they still up to no good? Avova does have the smokes going in now. We see the wall going back up, and there's the ultimate coming in. Nice. Could definitely catch a couple out. Back through we go. They are trying to draw rotations. The ultimate for Mo does nothing here.
Pora has managed to sneak his way onto B-side. He's going to try and take this 1v1 with Chak. He wins it.
seconds
Chak
left.
will fall. B-side's open right now. They have control of elbow, but they need to push in and stop this.
Where's Boaster? He's isolated. He's on his own. He's at elbow. The wall goes up from Lol. They don't want any of that. And now Pora posted up, waiting. Spike now planted. Heretics. Would they rip this away from them? Those final moments. And Pora, nades coming in. He's getting pressured down. The spam, everything's being thrown at him. He takes a swing. He's buying time. There is no flank. It is only these 2 angles. Boaster, can you bail him out again? No! Nuki denies it. Pora holds strong. Lol's there. And now it's just Doma. And Doma is dead. It's 12 for Heretics.
Wow. Again, I thought there was a chance that was going to come out. The TP play comes through, but it's the double fake back over to B site. The whole time, Pora didn't take the teleport. He sat there, he waited for somebody to push, and then he creeps in. He knows that the spy cam was destroyed by Avova. He can walk up and take that close combat with Chak. Insane play there from Heretics.
We've just seen them elevate. This is the level that I didn't know if either of these teams had that next step up, that next level to go to. And Heretics just shown them exactly what they can do. Boaster, it's time to consider your options here. There was a glimpse of glory in those last couple of rounds. The comeback was on, but now we're on match point.
I was looking at Pora there. I was like, why did he just run towards spawn with his? No, and I did think there must have been some miscommunication there. Lowell kind of lined up 3 kills, but yeah, I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Hopefully, they can get all weapons back on the board. Actually, looking at it, we've got a little bit of a pause right now.
Technical for now.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably Avova seeing he's not purchased yet. So hopefully that gets fixed up. But if you're Summon, you're just going to be left stewing in the fact that you're staring down a barrel of a gun 11-12. One more round and it's done. Their dream runs over. The Cinderella story can only hold up for so long. This is it. This is their final shot at things.
I mean, we talk about the mental and how it can easily be broken. I mean, a best of 5 is a tiring prospect nonetheless, but talked about SUMN FC not having that much experience, and mental fortitude is something very, very commonly overlooked in esports. And wow, I mean, going the distance here, even just now, even if they close this out, they have to play another map afterwards. Just
This is it. How bad do you want it, SUMN FC? You are going to be pushed to your limits here, and what an excellent game. Whether we go to another or not, this should satisfy many that these two truly deserve to be here. Not many would have put them in this scenario, but my God, have they put on a display in this map. Oh yeah, this has been phenomenal from them. Boaster, the man at the helm, of course, of SUMN. Pora, big name for Heretics, putting up big numbers too. They need this to work out for themselves. This technical pause is going to be brutal. This is where nerves really do set in. If you're sat there and you're just sweating, you're thinking about everything that's happened.
This is excruciating. This is going to be the longest 3 minutes for SUMN FC in their lives. But
Heretics.
Let's talk about it. Heretics keep forcing B. And again, you know what the good thing is? SUMN FC only drawing 1 over. They don't want to overstack towards that. So I like that from SUMN FC. And the fact that they've been able to, on the back of Chak, I'm going to say that, on the back of Chak, playing his life so effectively, buying so much time for the rotation to come through from the rest of SUMN FC, that they've been able to hold. Now they put Boaster over there. And I think previously, actually, there was 1 more member over towards B site. And Heretics now, what, 5 rounds in a row have tried this B push? Now they play the mind games. They rip out the TP play. Pora's there in that lurk position, which I can only imagine Lothar is just ecstatic to see, because that's the kind of position we've seen Pora just utilize so effectively time and time again. And it was a big talking point coming into this event.
Yeah, Again, this pause might take a second longer. They are trying to resolve the issue, of course, as soon as possible. We want no issues into this round. This is not one that you want to mess with. So we'll take our time on this. But this is nerve-wracking moments for both of these sides. For Heretics, they know they've got the additional map to play with if they need it. That is an option there. But surely you want to close out now. If you let SUMN back into this, I feel that momentum's with them.
Oh, yeah. Straight away there, that's kind of half the battle, is the mental. Coming into this with confidence, playing confidently, is something that we've seen both of these teams demonstrate, I'll be honest, so far. SUMN FC, again, to have the confidence to come up with all this innovation, all this prep work, all these setups, and have the confidence to show your hands so early and come out and put on a show. I don't know. I keep coming back to that term, Lauren. What do they have left in the tank? How much more have they got to give?
That's going to be the question we find out as soon as this is resolved, is how much do they have left? And the thing is, in these moments, it's like any grand final. If you've ever watched them in the past in many games, sometimes the plan goes out the window. Sometimes things don't work like they should. Sometimes that pressure, that momentum, it changes how the game looks. It feels everything is just on fire in the game. So again, you have to be able to adapt on the fly. And we've seen SUMN be able to show that they can do it. But this is the one that matters. This is the one that it all leads up to. If this doesn't work out, it was all for nothing and it all fades away. and no one really remembers second place, and it goes to Heretics.
You'd be hard pushed to forget either of these teams with the upsets we've seen so far. Again, take nothing away from either of them. SUMN FC, like I said, changing a lot of people's perspectives around how to play Valorant at this level. And again, Heretics coming in. The Kingslayers. The Kingslayers. Liquid first, G2 second.
It would be quite the storyline, and I think they deserve a lot of credit here, Heretics. A lot of people in the know were backing them at the very start of this, but we waited. We were cautious.
Timer is sat at home right now, smiling, ear to ear.
We love a happy finish.
Ear to ear.
We love a happy finish, man. But it is one thing to be said about them, though, is that we were waiting to see it in a big game. There's a big difference, and this
Like
is
I
the
said,
thing.
it validates everything that's been talked about.
Exactly that. We'd been waiting to see them deliver in big best-of-3 series. You know, your big events. And you're in Europe, there wasn't that many of them to prove themselves in. And when they were, yeah, G2 kind of mopped it up, or even Liquid in the early days, Fish 1, 2, 3, whoever you want to look at. But in the final hour, at the highest moment, they have stepped up. So again, it does seem as though this might take a second or two longer than expected, so hopefully that gets resolved. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the analysis desk is there. I just want to see how nervous they are. Guys, how are you dealing with the nerves?
Thanks, Lauren. I didn't want to think about that one, and now I have to. But let's just address some of the technical issues that's happening. We believe there's been a latency issue on one of the players on the Heretic side, and they're just trying to reconnect, so it shouldn't be too long. But while I have you guys here, I don't know if you're as nervous as me, but I think Mitch wanted to make a really good point about the T side performances from Heretics.
Yeah, the attacking side performance from Heretics we knew was going to be a little bit shaky, shall we say. It was a point I made earlier on that versus G2, they got, what, 4 rounds starting on the attacking side. And obviously we know SUMN, 10 rounds on defense versus FPX, a very capable bind team who would put a lot of work into. And you got to remember as well, SUMN weren't in their comfort zone there. They had just changed up their composition completely, as we were saying before this game. So overall, I guess things have kind of played out in the second half as I expected, with SUMN picking up a large amount of rounds, starting to make that comeback. But Heretics have already built up a lot. And I mean, this is the worst time for a technical issue. I feel so bad for the guys in the desk. Obviously, look, it's online. It has to be online with the current world situation. So these are the kind of things that happen. But with 1 round left in regulation at 12-11, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's almost written in the script that something like this had to happen. Like, it wasn't exciting enough, guys. So we have to draw this out and make all of you wait. But like you said, it could really go both ways. You know, maybe someone can reset, take a breather, come back and play the game. Or maybe Heretics are the ones that go, okay, we've had enough. We're just going to close this out and we're going to take that trophy.
Or it can go 18-18.
Oh my God. Just stay here till tomorrow. Who cares? I mean, at least we have a really, really nice final, though. I mean, we're already on the 4th map, and it's so even. You couldn't ask for a better final, honestly. Like 12-11. Like, everybody's just, like, barely sitting. Is like, oh, where's another one? Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, you've had some of these massive plays as well. The likes of Doma, that clutch. I mean, we were screaming in the back room. It was absolutely unbelievable. I think realistically, we're getting the hype that we've wanted, that we've deserved.
And speaking of hype, the latency issue has been fixed, I believe, and we are ready to get back into the game. Pansy and Hypok, I hope you are more nervous than I am.
Oh, I don't know. Nervous, excited. I'm not sure. Honestly, I can only imagine what the players are like right now after that. But we are told it is resolved. We'll be getting back into game. Now, let's talk about the scenario here. It's basically OT or it's over.
Yeah, there's not many outcomes left. I'm going to be honest.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, this is down to the wire. We couldn't ask for more from the grand final.
Perfect.
And again, both teams so far, especially in this map, have put on a fantastic display worthy of the grand finals. I just want to get back in there.
Yeah,
I want to get back in
why
there.
are my hands sweaty? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm nervous. Okay, let's look at the purchase coming out. We need to keep track of this because we've taken our eyes off for a second. So full buy, Boaster on the op. He's invested into the op for this one. Okay, that's a different look. We had not seen that yet.
And the heavy stack actually this time around. SUMN FC now kind of bowing to the pressure Heretics are applying to B site. Trapwire invested over on A short, so they have got some utility to counteract it. But Chak and Dome are actually playing close up here on long.
It's a new look. We haven't seen this. Summon have changed things up here. That's going to give away a bit of the game. Jack now noted. Different approach and different damage now being done. But do they realize who's down here? Jack gets a freebie. That's Nookie gone. Okay. Vova backs away. Where is that next piece of the puzzle going to come through?
Problem being Pora still lurking over towards A short now. Waiting for a little rotation. He's got the spy cam set up outside showers as well, so the option's still there to take the TP. 4 members now of SUMN FC. As I say that, Doma considering going back over to A. Lol gonna get Nuki back on his feet. That's important here. Gonna back up.
There we go.
5v5. TP comes through. Pora now. Look for him to make a play on A short if Heretics decide to push onto A.
It's Mo here still. Looking for this one. Nookie not going to have the ult. Looking to clear through showers, and it is going to be the ultimate towards Lamps. Mo now waiting, biding his time, trying to live between the utility, but
30
really
seconds
aggressive.
left.
He's going back in towards this. The timing's everything. Mo could stop it before it starts, but he can't. Avova's there, and the plant comes in. Finally, we see an A hit come out.
Spike
Doma, where
planted.
are you in this? Still holding map territory. A tag is all he's going to get. And now Heretics, they've got the time in their favor. They've got a body up as well.
Does the wall become a factor here in the retake? Boaster now looking to aggress onto Lamps. The molly's down, buying so much lime. Nuki finds Doma. Heretics draw first blood on the retake.
It's just 3 alive. That's all that stands between summon and defeat. And victory for Heretics. Jack and Boaster in combination. Oh, Niso turns it around. It's all on Mystic. A 1v3. It falls to pieces. Heretics, the Titan Slayers, took down Liquid, took down G2, and now they take the crown. Heretics are your VALORANT First Strike European champions.
They grind their way up until this event. They come through, they draw Liquid in game 1, G2 in game 2, and a fantastic SUMN FC who impressed us so much in the grand finals. Heretics never gave up. They fought with heart, and it absolutely shows.
Watch this back. Look at this pressure. It was all there. Heretics in the final hours stood up, but it got close. It got so damn close. But what resolve? Nobody can take this away from them.
Absolutely nobody. Heartbreak for SUMN FC, but they should go away with their heads held high from this. They impressed everyone from what they displayed here this week. And again, losing to a team like Heretics the way they've shown up as well, it's, you know, you can take nothing away from them whatsoever.
No, I think if anything, this is an incredible day for a celebration of European VALORANT.
Yes.
This is the starting blocks. This was the whole point. Yes, we'd had tournaments before, but it all led up to this moment. And again, I did not expect this final. I don't think many did, but we have had a great, great display of what these teams can do.
For sure. I mean, I said something yesterday, G2 leading up to now, that's been the story of EU VALORANT.
100%.
Now we have a completely new chapter. There's new names to consider now. FBX potentially was the one we thought was going to make the play for it here to be the new name, but 2 completely different names from that. So I am so excited to see where this goes now in terms of VALORANT.
I mean, I'm sure next year is going to be incredible. The only way is up. But again, I have to say it. Heretics, you have won some hearts and minds today. They have played an incredible game. They have proven everyone wrong, and Poor has done it in style. The man's got moves. But for real, this has been an incredible honor to watch these guys play. I don't think anyone thought they would be walking away with this. Not easily, but they took on so many big names.
I just wish we had a face cam for Taimu.
I wish we had the players here. That is the one thing that would have elevated this for me, would be purely to see their faces, to see how much this means to them. Because again, for some of these players, they have been in the world of esports before. They've never hit that high point, but this is their time to shine. This is the time to commit, and we've seen what it can do to a team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Lowell and Nuki now, I mean, previously, again, names to consider, but now names very much on the radar. Those guys have come up huge. Again, Pora, just kind of, I mean, I think back to the time where he was playing that kind of dynamic duo role with Turco.
Yeah.
Now, looking at him, the development of this guy, and just the number of times he's able to come up huge. He was the man that sealed the deal previously. Time and time again, and that last man standing, finds kills, seals out the rounds. Just, I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think it's all been said and done. Honestly, just watching Heretics show us exactly what they could do there was the only way I could imagine it going down. It was perfect way to close this out. A team that none of us truly expected. But honestly, they deserved every second of that. I'm
they do.
so
They
happy to see it, but still. Guys, I'm going to give you a challenge. Not only have you got to enjoy this, but try and find a way to pick out your HyperX First Strike MVP over on Twitter. Val Esports _EU, etc. You'll work it out. But good luck picking that one, because I don't know who I'd pick, honestly, at this point. I mean, okay, well, all right. He knows who to vote for, but still. We need to get out of here, but it's been an absolute pleasure casting with you, and it's been an incredible experience getting to see these teams in their element, but I hope we get to hear from them in their winning moments. Let's head back to the desk to close this one out.
Thank you, Pansy and Hypoc, and what a fantastic job they did, guys. Honestly, couldn't pick two better people to lead us through that final. And I just want to say for everyone at home, if you can see the trophy that's in front of us, there it is. That's the First Strike trophy. We are going to send that to Team Heretics. So maybe we'll see a nice photo of them holding it, maybe in the preceding days. But that is theirs. They are the winners of the first ever First Strike EU. Guys, this is the end of the road. And they did so well. Lothar, I have to come to you first because you're probably the smuggest person among all of us right now. You saw this before the event even started.
Well, maybe I should have just put a little bit more faith in them against G2, but I put it like 51-49, you know? But for me, consistency that they presented, and they presented that also in the qualifiers, was something like really different from all of the other teams that I have seen and then watched the VODs of. And I'm super impressed so far. Lowell, Niso, and Pora. Like, I don't want to discredit the other two as well in the team, but those three spearheaded this team, like really.
Yeah, I mean, Lau, what a player. The more I watch him, the more he just mesmerizes me with just everything he does. The utility usage, his aim, just his lurks. What can't this man do, honestly?
You know, he takes so many early and aggressive fights, gets away with so much. I feel like David P might be sweating a little bit. Thinking, I know it's called the David P Battle Sage, but for how much longer? And now there seems to be a new king in town.
Oh, yeah.
You look at Lau. The fact that this guy plays such a pivotal role for them on the majority of maps as well, he's holding down very aggressive map control. He's the one getting information. He's the one getting first bloods. And then in some of these clutch situations as well, he's the one delivering the frags. So we saw it in this very map. The pistol round had me off my seat. I mean, it was then delivered on in the second round. By the time that we were finished the second round, he picked up 2 ult orbs, 5 kills, he had his ult, he rezzed his teammate, and then finished it off as well. It's unbelievable.
I need to check the stats on his revive, because it was nuts. Absolutely nuts, delivering so many, let's say, just additional manpower to the team, because that literally what happened.
He did res in round 2.
Yep.
He did actually res in the middle of round 2.
And not only that, he rezzed his teammate, then went, wait there, and went out and won the round as well. Like, he's just unstoppable. He gets his teammates back online, gets round wins for his team, gets opening duels. Like, there's nothing this guy can't do.
Yeah, and one thing you said, what is it that this man cannot do? There's one thing, he cannot lose.
Jonas. Well, you guys heard it here first. You know what I also love about this victory is that they came into this obviously with the intention to prove that they're the best. And in a single elimination tournament, sometimes it's quite hard because you don't get to play against everybody. Yeah. But they beat Team Liquid, they beat G2, and then they beat the team that beat FPX. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. There is no argument out there right now that says that this isn't the best team in Europe. They are the best team in Europe.
They've earned that spot. Sure, it is a one-stop tournament, but we had all the best in here. So you can't argue a single elimination, you know, BO1s along the way. It doesn't matter. We still ended up with what we would consider to be the best teams at the moment. Then you go on further. They had, I think, the hardest route to get here. They had to face Liquid, who coming into this tournament were pinned as top 3, I think, from what we'd seen historically. Sure, obviously on the analyst desk, we constantly questioned whether that was true, but just generalizing. Then you've got G2. I mean, even the man that was hyping them up, that picked Pora as the player to watch in this tournament, he was a little bit doubtful of them coming up against G2. Exactly. It was starting to flip-flop a little bit, and then you come into the finals, you're playing someone who've proven at least today or this weekend they were better than FPX, and they've beaten them as well. It's ridiculous. Heretics are just so strong at the moment. And I think also the thing that's most impressive to me about it is what we've been saying on the desk day in, day out, that they don't just play a carbon copy of what Valorant should be. They've come in, they've looked at it, they've assessed it on their own grounds, come up with a different approach to the game, to every map than other teams have, and they're making it work.
I just know what G2 will tweet on the social medias will be, as usual, we'll lose to the winner of the tournament.
I mean, you could. And speaking of the winners of the tournament, we have Lau with us right now for a quick interview. Lau, congratulations. Honestly, every time I speak to you, I'm sort of feeling like I deliver more and more good news. But today, you've done it. You are the champions of Europe. And I hate asking this question to players, but I have to ask you, how does it feel?
It feels amazing. What can I say? Like it's speechless. Like I'm super happy. I'm proud of my team. It's like we managed to win this tournament, without any experience, in this kind of tournaments. So I'm super proud and super happy.
Well, when you took down G2, you said it was a very tiring matchup. How are you feeling today? And are you a bit worn out now you had to play 4 maps?
To be honest, I don't feel that tired compared to yesterday because yesterday was hell of a match, Against some, it was a really hard match, especially on Vine. Like they played really good and it was really hard to beat them. So I'm feeling really tired also, but it's totally worth it, Like I'm super happy, super happy.
Well, taking everything back, that ascent was super easy for you guys. 13-1. Was it as easy for you as it looked for us?
I don't know. I think we played super good in general. Like, it doesn't matter if we were winning like 8-0 or 9-0, like we were putting the same intensity, like if we can do 13-0, we need to do it, So I think we played really good. Our attitude was insane. So I think that's why, or one of the reasons why we beat them 13-1, I think. So.
Well, let's move on to the Icebox pick because we weren't quite sure if it was a map that you didn't play at all, or have you had any preparation on that map? Because you did look a little bit weaker, but it wasn't that much of a disparity.
We didn't practice it. We played once in 3 weeks. So we were just playing, like I started the round and I was asking my teammates, guys, where am I going, So I understand that. So, but yeah, what I said, that doesn't matter, guys. Like we focus on communication. Doesn't matter if we lose, like we didn't practice map. So we just need to focus on our attitude even if we lose. So everything went fine, like we lost the Icebox, but everything is fine, We're going to play Heaven, Vine. It's good maps for us, so everything is fine. So yeah.
Well, luckily we still had you on your comfort pick, but Avova had to move on to the Viper. Am I correct in also assuming that maybe he's not played the Viper before either?
No, he never played Viper before. Like yesterday, yesterday at night, he was checking some walls, nice walls, and then
That's how it looked,
That explains a lot.
Yeah, it's really crazy, But yeah, I mean, we didn't have enough time to focus on Icebox, So we prefer to focus on our maps, Split, Haven, Vine, and these kind of maps. So yeah, we knew that it's gonna be really hard on Icebox, but yeah, we managed to win, So.
Well, I mean, it showed. It definitely showed the maps that you had your focus on. You guys were absolutely fantastic. Here at the analyst desk, we just had a discussion on whether we can call you the best team in Europe. And obviously, after your victory tonight, it was a unanimous decision that you are by far the best team in EU right now. And in the past, you've been very humble about this because I have asked you this a few times, especially after Taimu coming out and saying that he thinks you're the best team in EU. Well, now with this trophy in hand and this title, can you call yourselves that?
I think we are. We are.
Oh, yeah.
we are, even though we didn't have that much of experience, because what I said before is that, for example, me and Nuki, we have some experience, in Tier 1 tournaments, so we are used to play this kind of games under pressure, But for example, Paura, Abova, and Nisao, they don't have this kind of experience, So it's really hard to beat these teams. But anyways, even with that, we managed to be the best. So imagine what can happen after 2 tournaments, 3 tournaments, when Nisao, Aboba, and Meli get this experience, this strength, mentality in this kind of games,
I definitely think going into 2021, you will be the team to beat. Everybody is going to have their eyes on you. I also just wanted to ask about your Sage, because
Yeah.
after her nerf, not many people play her. People don't think she's that viable. She's not really a prioritized agent, but you have played her beautifully. Tell me why
Thank you.
you've decided to stick with her.
I really like Sage. I mean, on my humble opinion, I think Sage, you can mix it. Like, you can sometimes play aggressive and sometimes you can play passive, and help your teammates. So I think it's really a good agent in that aspect. But I think in the meta right now with Breach, I think Sage is really good agent, because if you have really good timings in game, you can counter the Breach, Like, for example, on Heaven, I expect them to execute A with the Breach ulti, and I was thinking, I want to go A. So they tried to execute A, and I put the wall, I put the slow, and they couldn't do anything. So right now with the meta, with Breach, I think 80% of the teams, or 90, are playing Breach. So I think Sage, on my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but on my opinion, I think Sage, if you play it good, with good timings, you can counter this Breach.
I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you, and I think you're definitely going to bring her back into the rotation for matchmaking. Lastly, before I sort of pass it over to these guys to see if they have any questions for you, I just want to reveal that with a resounding 75% of Twitter votes and 5 out of the 6 analysts here in the studio, not going to say the one person that didn't vote for you, but you are our HyperX MVP of not just the series, but the entire tournament. Congratulations, Lau.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Well deserved, I think.
It's amazing.
We'll be the crowd for you there with the cheer, I guess.
Anyone besides Lothar have any questions for Lau?
What? I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
I would love to hear what was the preparation like for the final, because it's always interesting to hear from insides of the team. How exactly did you prepare?
We didn't prepare that much, like our playstyle, especially myself as a IGL. What I like to do, like I like to start with a default, and then I like to adapt to the enemy team. Like, we don't have any strats, we don't have anything, super prepared. So we just play default. We try to adapt and thinking, on what they're doing. I'm thinking to what's the best to win this round, and we play like this, like really, like we almost didn't see anything from Sam. Like, only some stuff from their comfort zone. So, but basically, like 90% is just mid-round calling. So we start with a default, and then we decide, or some executes.
Okay.
Wow.
Did you watch a lot of VODs from some FC?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch that much. I was watching a little bit how they play on their default. Like some plays, but I don't want to overthink that much. I just want to play my game. I just want my team to play our game, and I think we can beat them like this. And I think we saw it.
I love that. I love that. Any questions, Mitch and Jonas? You don't have to say yes if you don't have any questions.
I just think it's beautiful to watch them play, and I'm now officially a big fan.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks so
all
much.
of us are massive fans of Heretics now, I would say. But anyway, congratulations once again, Lau.
Thank you so much.
Very well deserved, and I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with in 2021.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you, Lau.
Bye-bye.
Wow, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't aware that he was the IGL. I thought it was a more sort of style of other people have been like secondary callers and they sort of just go with the flow. But this guy is the IGL. He consistently frags. He clutches like it's nothing. I'm a huge Lau fan, and I'm really putting this forward as an example for all of the other players in EU right now. They should be looking up to him.
You know what I think? I think that this is like phase 2 of Valorant. Phase 1, all the teams are around. You look at the agents, you go, okay, who's the most powerful? How can we use these to provide executes and all this sort of stuff? You figure out how to build the meta. Phase 2, you come in a little bit later, and then you start to realize, okay, what is everybody doing? And what agents there directly combat that. But you build it from the ground up. And I think that's why, like, Lau, for example, with the Sage, first of all, the thing he's neglecting is the fact, so he's saying, obviously, he's playing because it's counter breach. That's the value it brings to the team, that you can really destroy 80 to 90% of the lineups, or at least specific round strategies that they'll bring out. What he also brings to the table is the fact that, that's why you have Sage on your team. why you have Sage on Lowell in particular, why he's playing it, is because he's nuts. I mean, if you have a strong individual that's able
waiting
to
for
get
that.
kills, you can just have those reses coming up again and again. Like, the fact that you can have Sage on your team, okay, I'll accept, but why is that Sage the one that's going for those aggressive plays? And that's where I think there's another level they're not even discussing. Also, the fact that I found it really interesting, you said that they didn't watch any VODs of someone. I think you could almost see that in some rounds. Like it would take them a little bit longer than you would expect to fall or to figure out some of these setups. I think in particular over towards the B side on Bind, you could see it where you would just have that Cypher playing on the side around 2 cages, consistently able to take those fights and catch them off guard, even down to the third last round where he swung out aggressively through a cage, got a kill, faded back, and there was no one dealing with him, even though it was a full push. There were 3 players going towards the site. But I love the fact that we described EU as the thinking man's game, and then he's saying, we actually don't have strat books, it's not preparation, it's all just thinking in the moment. So
I think they're just downplaying.
I mean, you could always be like hiding your approach a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's probably, it's the same with when we talk about G2. Because, it's not like G2 are some mindless guys who just rush in and then see what happened. But what we saw from Heretics again and again is their way to adapt their innovative playstyle where they see what, like you said, what defaults they're playing and then how can we react to this default. So he said that 90% of their games are based around mid-round calling. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is a case we can make that this could be the G2 2.0. There is a lot of similarities in the way that Lao came across in their approach to the game. Of course, like Lothar said, they probably do have some strats, they do have defaults, they have setups, we've seen them. But the fact that they are so free and spontaneous and they're sort of leaning towards more G2 than they are towards FPX SUMN is making me feel like maybe they'll have their own sort of domination next year and become this G2 number 2, maybe a better G2.
what's quite funny about that for me
G3, yeah.
is it like Lowell has experience in Counter-Strike, obviously. I wouldn't say to the extent that someone like Mixwell does, though. And it's kind of funny to me then when you look at how they're both setting up, because as you're saying, that reminds me very much of the interview we had with Mixwell a while back, where he was saying how you look at them even versus FPX, a team that prepares most of their stuff before they come on the server. Now, obviously, they have the flexibility to make calls on the spot and make adjustments, but for the most part, they're going to be a prep-heavy early team. And when we spoke with Mixwell, he was saying how they make these calls based off of what they see. The communication on that team is so good that they'll all be able to read individually what's happening on their parts of the map. And round to round, they'll make an adjustment to deal with their opponents based on that. It's very similar to what Lowell was saying there. But I wonder in the grand scheme of things, like that is a very, very short shelf life for me, that kind of play style. Because when you introduce enough agents, enough maps, and we were having the discussion the other day that you could potentially see lineups that are 7, 8, 9 players deep so that you have specialists on particular agents on particular maps. So when you come to this stage of then trying to flex like that, it would be very difficult to build a lineup that had that diversity to make those kind of plays. So I think that'll work for now. But in a year, I think we're going to see very, very different. That's like stage 3 Valorant, where there's going to be another level of approach. But this team has got that capability because they've got players that have the experience, the same as G2 do, to adapt over time.
For me, how Heretics plays, for me, it was apparent that they have like follow a playbook and so on because they always follow their teammates in a specific, precise manner, and it seems like on every single map there is a cohesive movement. So there's always Pora in a specific map point, taking some control of the map, getting those lurks. Lowell being the aggressor on the side, being the first, following up with his teammates. Every time they go on site, they execute is like really well planned with a buddy system. They go in twos. So it seems to me that even though Lowell is saying that they improvise a lot and so on, but the fundamentals make it look like it's practiced a lot.
Well, we focused a lot on Lao, but there are obviously other players on this roster who did incredibly well, which moves us to the Prime Gaming play of the day. I feel like Nuki always wins these because he is just so unreal on almost every weapon. Oh, he is. Yep, it's that.
Of course it
It's
is.
that. What are you meant to do?
I mean, there's
What
nothing you
can you
can
do?
do.
That
When
was a
it go-
4K, right?
Yeah, it was a 4K, absolutely. And it was with the operator as well, just going out for those aggressive plays, taking the peaks. It's the flicks, though, man. Like, Nuki is so solid at those. Him, Zipan, there's some of these players that just make me so envious. Like, I could never react that quickly.
And he was also the nail in the coffin for G2 with the ace on split. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like he might be very flashy, you know.
He's extremely flashy. And I just feel like this roster has multiple flashy players, you know, in comparison to someone like SUMN FC, which, by the way, all hats off to them. They also did a great job to get here, but there is definitely a disparity there. You know, they just weren't ready for this best of 5, I would say. But again, yeah, if you look at Heretics, they have the superstars. They're a superstar team, you know. SUMN FC might be better in terms of structure, in terms of strats, in terms of how they play around the game, and in terms of creativity. But this Heretics team is just built to win, I feel, especially after everything they did today.
And I mean, we've spoken about Lau, we've spoken about Nuki. I don't want to steal the point because obviously we had our whole, everybody here voted for the player of the tournament, but Lothar, you went against the grain. You went
Well,
with
I
Pora.
like to go against
It's what he does.
the water, like whatever you call it. How do you call it? Against the
Wave?
current.
Stream?
Against the
Yeah,
current.
okay.
I guess the
So
current.
I voted for Pora because I feel like even though he might not win in the numbers, he's really the impact player. Obviously, Lowell is also the impact player, and he's very visible in the team. While Pora kind of like is the man behind the team, I would say. You know, and earlier before I was making the point on the analyst desk that the stats on the team for Heretics is very close to each other. Like they don't have a standout player. Everyone is doing their job. You know, so everyone has positive KD. Oh, sorry, almost everyone has positive KD. Very high ACS. I think it was 4 players were over 220. 1 player was at 190. So everyone is just pulling their weight.
I also like the fact that he described Pora as the man behind the team because he's also the man behind the enemy team the majority of the time.
Oh, goodness. I wanted to mention one quick thing, though. Considering the fact that we talked about how SUMN, just wanted to mention that quickly, is a team that is unsigned. So if you are an organization out there and you're looking to invest into Valorant, you just saw a European final with a team that is not yet signed. So, you know, might send some DMs. I'd recommend it.
Yeah, listen to Jonas, basically. Yeah, great advice, Jonas. I like that. You know, lastly, speaking of SUMN FC and being unsigned, this is probably the last big tournament we're going to have in Valorant this year. But looking to next year, we have so much going on. We have a whole road, you know, to the big World Finals at the very end of the year. What are your predictions for next year? Taking into consideration everything that's happened in this tournament. It doesn't have to be like a team prediction, but just, I guess, your takeaway from this and taking that forward to next year.
Well, I mean, we can be excited for not G2 FPX Grand Finals. That's something I'm really happy for. Like, in all honesty, the fact that we've had SUMN and Heretics here, it's very difficult to predict. I won't say nobody predicted it because I had quite a number of tweets last night after I said no one could possibly have predicted this. Apparently people did, lunatics. But what I will say is that it shows that over the last 8 months, invite-only tournaments have kind of sheltered some of these top teams. And it's something that we've brought up
As
a couple of
usual.
times. As usual, right? Yeah, of course, it's going to bring the big brands along. Whoever was winning just continues to get pushed into these tournaments, whether they deserve it or not. And, okay, the teams that are here, no doubt, are the best within Europe. But now we've seen that towards the top of that scene, it is much more competitive than we thought. Because the narrative before, if this had have ended up following the same route, we could easily have said, you know, oh, there's like 2, maybe 3 great teams in Europe. They're on a tier above everybody else. And then everyone else is kind of down here fighting amongst themselves. That was, I think, the overarching story, right? G2, FPX, then kind of Liquid, then everyone else. Now, we've got a whole shakeup to that bracket. So I'm looking forward to a year where we get to, again, completely redefine who the best teams are.
But that's not the only problem. At some point, we're going to see NA versus Europe or other regions versus Europe.
Yeah, so top
And
3 European teams.
that's
Maybe we
when
throw an NA in there. After
That's
that.
when it gets really exciting, because then you can suddenly have a meta clash as well. Because we see in other regions the playstyles are sometimes completely different, and we don't know if that's for good or bad, and we don't know how these kind of playstyles match up against each other. So that's what I'm mostly excited about, just to see. Imagine 100 Thieves versus Team Heretics, for instance. You know.
I'm more looking forward to Vision Strikers versus Summon FC. I think that will be an absolute banger.
Oh, you know what I want is Vision Strikers versus G2, because when they won their trophy, I saw a tweet that they sent to G2 on Twitter. They were like, "Hey guys, we're like, where's your one?" You know, it was fantastic. So I want to see. I think there's going to be a little bit of a rivalry there.
Lothar, your takeaway?
My prediction for next year will be we're gonna have a rapid growth of the competitive scene. I'm 100% certain that after today there will be many players seeing, oh, Valorant is actually very intense on the highest level. I want to play in this. I want to create a team. Maybe I want to transfer from another game that I play and try myself, you know, in this new game that Riot developed. So. My first guess, the next open qualifier in Europe, we're gonna have twice the amount of teams that we have seen in those qualifiers, and it will only grow from there.
Well, thank you very much, guys. This has been real. This has been great. We've had ups. We've had a little bit of down, mostly ups. We've had Jonas serenading. I'm never going to forget that, definitely.
Best day of Sova's life.
Yeah, we didn't get to comment on that because we didn't have time today, but it was a resounding yes from me and Mitch, I believe.
Absolutely.
After
I
that
mean, if
performance.
I could take you back to this judge's house, I certainly would.
Well, with that, that is the end of First Strike EU. Congratulations to Team Heretics. They are your winners. Go enjoy it. And of course, thank you to all of the other teams that took part. Huge thank you to Pansy and Hypog, to Jonas, to Lothar, and of course to Mitch and everybody at home for tuning in. This is just the beginning of competitive Valorant, because we'll see you in 2021.